What's up, everybody? I know it's been a minute. Just wanted to share with you guys, where I've been at and, what's been going on with me over, the past year. And um, it's just been a lot. Um, if you don't know, last year or this year, I don't like, but I started college and just finished my freshman year. Um, but just where I am now, I'm really just not happy, and really, I'll say, you know, proud in a sense, but I just yearn for so much more, and we'll get to that in a second. But if you don't know, I have really bad ADHD and anxiety, and that really came into play this past year in college, and like first semester going in, I just thought everything was going to be easy, and I thought I was going to have a lot of fun, and which I did. I'm not saying I didn't, but it was way different than I thought it was going to be. And a lot of people can agree, a lot of people can say the same, but for me, um you know I just really fell into a dark place when college started. And first semester battled with a lot of and even second just battled with a lot of feelings of depression, and anxiety was really through the roof. And although I had a best friend, he knows who he is. That's my brother, and we still talk to this day. He might come back next semester, but that's besides the point. We had a very good relationship, and met him at Hoop Runs, because I play basketball, but that became my boy. We'd go to the gym every single day. We'd practically do everything together. Introduced him to my other friends. They clicked, and we all, it was all good. The only downside to that, though, was the distraction, the procrastination that came alongside it. And because I get so hyper focused on, certain things, once I'm so, like, maybe I met him, but it's the fact that, we did so much, everything together. It was all just a distraction that led to the procrastination, and just like kind of hindered you know like where I was at. And I began to fall back and really fall short. And I'm not saying it's at fault by him or by the friendship. That's still my boy. Like I said, that was never the issue. I like, hopefully he does return so we can continue, going to hoop run and stuff like that. But I just let it become a distraction, is what I'm saying. I forgot what I was there for. And, I began to fall short. And, last year, I was really falling into addiction with marijuana abuse. And, like, I would really just smoke so often. And it really hindered my relationship with God and, even other people. It like ran my anxiety through the roof. Everything else just crashed down. Second semester, I came back trying to be stronger. My grades got up, although, my best friend, he wasn't there anymore. But, my grades got way better. I was going to class, but just, I wasn't happy. And, I just thought like, other things I did would like bring that, feeling of, gratitude or acceptance, etc. But I don't know, nothing really just seemed to be the trick for me. And, I really felt down on myself because, I wasn't working, obviously I was a student, but, I just saw everybody around me, working, although I'm not in a bad place financially. It's just, you know, I want something that I can be proud of. That's really how I work. I started making music, you know, I mean, that's been going decent. I just would like to get my name out there more, but that's just all in a process. And that's just what I learned life is. It's just a big process. And although, I know that, I still have a lot of anxiety about the future, about where I'm at. And just in this day and age, it's just like so much stuff out there. This is a big realm. This world is just such a big realm of imagination, and there's so much stuff that you can really do. But I can never stick to one thing and really get my mind to decide where do I want to go. What do I want to do from this? I feel like as like I can do anything. I put my mind to, but it's just like finding that motivation or finding that want or that drive, I'd say. Like even with music I'm inconsistent. With a lot of things I'm inconsistent. Like I began to be more inconsistent with my friends, you know and it's just sometimes just something that I just can't help. Like my social battery is it's crazy sometimes, and I just won't feel like doing anything, and I feel like that's just part of it. um like I just won't have the external motivation or the drive or the push to really just get anything done. Especially now coming back, I'd say it's honestly been the worst. Like recently I've stopped, marijuana, which is, I've been proud of, but I don't know, ever since, the summer started, I just feel like I've been downhill. And I really want to be at a place where I can just accept and, be comfortable and be happy. But it's so hard to find when you just don't know. And all the feelings of anxiety and what ifs, like, just always come back to haunt me. Um, the other day, Saturday, it was Saturday or Friday, I actually, had a panic attack and ended up having heart palpitations. And, that was really an experience for me because before it happened, um, I was just frozen. Like I was just frozen in one place, and all these negative thoughts um, just flooded into my mind, and just nothing seemed right. Everything in my life just seemed like it was gonna crumble down, and I was gonna lose everything. But obviously that's just not the reality. But my mind is just something that tells me it is, and it's just something I can't help. Um, and it's been the worst this year. Um, just trying to find where you belong, or just anything of the such. Like I have really bad social anxiety. Very hard for me to talk to people. I get really awkward. I'll start like sweating or something like that, or like stuttering. But I don't know. I really sometimes I just don't know the answer. And obviously I do know the answer, but I just don't at the same time. And I just am in a place where I'm just lost. Like I don't really have the connection, and I don't really know how to build the connection with other people to help me, or just do whatever I want to do. But just been doing a lot of thinking about everything about my life, where I want to go, what I want to do, and just that's really just been the biggest thing for me. You know, um, it was really a struggle for me to find work. Ended up, getting a couple offers um, this summer, but I thought that was going to be the answer, but it just wasn't. And I just feel like I want something bigger and something to look on and be proud of. And you know, it's I want to keep posting on here so I can just show y'all, how I'm doing. Um, what life looks like for me and just how I'm feeling. Maybe share some like words of maybe motivation. I'm not really a motivational speaker, but just how I feel and like, maybe what can help some people who are going through the same thing. And if y'all have any, thing to share, share it with me. Don't be afraid to, hit me up, and just share your experiences, maybe you have recommendations, maybe something like that. But yeah, just wanted to share with you guys where I'm at. I've been trying to do a lot better. Like I said, I quit marijuana, haven't been smoking, and I feel like although I don't feel the same, the emotion I have is very limited. I just hope for that to change in the future, or in the near future, and for me to go back and make a difference. That's something I really want to do. Something I'm really motivated in doing, but I feel like I just need the foundation, and that's something I'm really working on. But that's really it. That's what I want to share with you guys, and hope you all have a good day.